Welcome to Tigers Untapped, a Bluff City Media podcast. Stepping up to the microphone are your hosts, TJ Willis and Trey Lasley. Pull up your chair, grab your favorite brew, and enjoy the conversation. Now, let's get to the show.
What up, what up, what up? Guess who's back again, get. Tell a friend. I don't know if that's really how that goes, but TJ, my man, Mr. Impossible, Mr. This is Impossible. It's good to be back. How you been?
Doing well, man. How are you?
I'm doing good now that we're finally coming off of a Tigers W. You know what I mean? TJ and I we were protesting until the football team won a game again. That's where we were. Only kidding. Obviously,
something like that.
You guys have probably seen, if you're watching this, you've found it on Bluff City Media. So you've heard about Bluff City. So TJ and I super excited to be a part of it. I mean, the most exciting part for me, I would say, is helping the players out, right? So hopefully as we're creating content with them, they're getting paid for it. So that's a really exciting part, cool piece to be a part of. But welcome to Tigers Untapped. We're back, TJ, back in action.
It was good. Not gonna lie, I love it.
Yeah, I missed it. It was a little break, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss it. So good to be back with you. All right, tell everybody. I guess now, if you're viewing, we've got the cameras rolling. Why don't you show everybody what we're drinking tonight?
Yeah, let's.
By the way, this was not planned. What?
No,
I'm noticing your jersey there.
I got that low, the Lorenzen right.
Low. I mean, you guys aren't going to believe us. We did not plan this, but we both show up on the Zoom call with the blue Memphis State jersey. I mean, this is, in my opinion, the best uniform that we have.
For sure, without a doubt. Mine's actually Chinese knockoff. That's why the colors are off, but you just got to go with it sometimes.
Mine is too. Oh, I didn't even know that your collar had the blue stripe. Mine's got the gray.
No,
Yeah, mine was from like Alibaba or something, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where mine's from.
We just obviously didn't get the same seller.
No. For those who don't know, what we do here is we pick a local beer and we try it out. We talk about the can design. We talk about the beer itself. We don't go too into deep. We really just want to find an excuse to drink a beer, honestly. And so we keep it local because we love Memphis, and that's just kind of what we do.
So tonight we're going with Wiseacres Memphis Sands. We'll sip on this through the episode, do a can rating. It'll be good. But I got to tell you right off the bat, this isn't a new beer to me. This is
no.
I'm a big fan of Memphis Sands, so I'm gonna enjoy this one.
It's a good one.
All right, TJ. Thursday Night Lights, back in the bowl. Tigers finally pulled out a W. It was
Wins a win.
It was what, a freaking month? 4 straight L's. That's tough. That is tough. I'll just say I got there a little bit late. You were late too.
Yeah.
Not characteristic of us. But we nearly missed the best part of the game. The first 15, 17 minutes were pretty exciting. And then, I mean, we stayed to the bitter end, and that was a bad game after that first quarter.
It's a nice way of putting it, right? You know, I kind of wrote that down as one of my takeaways is, you know, the Tigers came out kind of hot. They did have the fumble, kind of a downfall there. It was a great punch out by the defense, so you can't really complain too much. But scored on the first three possessions?
Your first 3 drives, you get a field goal,
touchdown. And 2 touchdowns, I think.
Yeah,
touchdown,
2 field goal, touchdown.
Yep.
So you jump out quick, 17-3 lead. I will say, as much as I hate turnovers, I did take Tulsa to score first on FanDuel. So it couldn't have worked out better for them to immediately get the ball in on our half of the field and get that quick field goal up, and then us just to blow them out. not score again until what? They scored with like 3 minutes left or something.
Yeah, it was in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter.
So what a bet to hit for them to score first and then them literally never score again. I don't even know if they crossed midfield until that last and I mean they started at
I think
midfield
once.
and it was a fumble. All right, give me your takeaways. We'll go offensive first.
For me, the biggest thing is just getting a win, right? You know, we were kind of talking before this, and I think I kind of forgot something normally we do every time. And I was like, to be honest, we haven't talked about a win in so long that, like,
Gosh,
I don't even know
you ain't lying.
kind of what's going on. Yeah. So the offense, the first 3 drives, it's great. You know, I definitely don't prefer the 5 straight drives without a score. I think punting on your next 5 drives is a little inexcusable, probably against Tulsa of all teams. You know, if you did that against UCF, Tulane, you know, one of the more established teams, maybe it's something else, but against Tulsa, I don't know, man. I will say I did like that there was a bit of more of a balanced rushing attack. Seth was not the leading rusher for once, so maybe we've turned a leaf in terms of how we're gonna run this thing going forward.
That wasn't for a lack of attempts though, because he was the second leading attempt rushing attempts, only behind Ducker with 13. Ducker had 14. Yeah. Seth had 13. Seth a rough rushing night, by the way. 13 rushes, 5 yards, 0.4 yards a carry. Oh.
It's definitely not ideal. I think that he kind of maybe gets a little quick-footed. You know, he, instead of kind of waiting on some reads, he sees a gap, he takes his 5 yards. Then, of course, sacks and things like that are incorporated in, and it kind of hurts that rushing average a bit. And I think that's kind of what you're seeing with the, 13 carries, 5 yards, something like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked about it. There are definitely times where it seems like if it's not immediate, the first read isn't there immediately, he's taken off.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what you meant by quick-footed and not he's literally got quick feet out there on the field.
Hey, I'm not going to say anything. He's actually more athletic than I have probably ever.
Take up tap dancing, quick feet.
Yeah, he's probably more athletic than I think I've ever given him credit for. I think he's kind of joked on Twitter about being a dual threat. And to be honest, I mean, given where we've been.
He's a capable runner.
Definitely capable runner. I'm not going to, put him up there with John Rice Plumlee or Tanner Mordecai, anyone like that. But he's definitely a capable runner. He's shown all year that he can pick up yards with his feet. So what about you?
Offensively, like you said, you start out really strong. I think Seth played a fairly good game. I mean, 20 of 34, 262, 1 touchdown. He didn't throw an interception, which I feel like is the first game in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I will say I was pretty disappointed. You talk about the rushing game. Tulsa came in as one of the worst rushing defenses in the country. And if this was, I felt like this was an opportunity where if you're going to throw up like a 200-yard night, this was it. And you don't even eclipse 100 on the night. So, Javon Ivory had a really good game, 7 catches, 123 and a touchdown. Obviously he had that first, 70-yard strike across the middle of the field, was able to run away from the secondary of Tulsa. But outside of those first, it was 15 17 minutes of the game, the offense was just kind of stagnant. And I feel like we've said that it's weird, we talked about it, like Cramsey, at times it's felt like the play calling has been awesome, and there's been certain instances where like that was a perfect, like the going back to the screen pass at Navy.
Everyone mentioned that screen pass,
and maybe that's the one, and we're just thinking that it keeps happening. But and then there's times, like you just said, the 5 straight drives where it's just like all of a sudden we're just stuck and we can't do anything at all. And so it was disappointing. You get 20 points in the first half and you think you're in, it's going to be one of those nights where the final is like, I don't know, 41-3 or whatever, right? Like they shouldn't have scored.
Definitely not the case
at the end of the game. But it sat at 20-3 for most of the third. You kick a field goal right at the end of the third. And then I know people want him to be aggressive, but personally, I had a little bit of moolah on Tigers to win just between 1 and 13. And so that last kick with 20 seconds left was a
I'm going to be
heartbreaker
honest.
for me.
That was great watching that occur because it's just the look of defeat that was on your face as they
I know,
lined
and
up for that kick.
I think that's why people say you shouldn't bet on your team, because even in
Not to revel in your loss, but it was great.
even in a moment of victory for the Tigs, there was some disappointment on my part because of us beating them by more than I wanted them to be. The other thing that I'll mention is, and I felt like it because a lot of times it was our offense and Tulsa's defense when this was occurring, but the penalties. And it wasn't that, if you look at it statistically, I think we only ended up with 5 for 50 yards. But dude, it felt like after every play there was a penalty. Well, if they're offsetting, do they go in the stat sheet if they're offsetting? Maybe that's
they still go in. They'll still go in there.
Okay. You just gotta. It was so chippy, man. I guess it's because of wrestling night. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we've been one of the least penalized teams in the country all year, so it was kind of disappointing to see that. But at the same time, it's like you like to see your guys fighting for one another and still having some fight in them.
Definitely.
Right? They're not just kind of laying down. So,
and I think that's one thing that maybe we haven't talked about enough is how the team hasn't laid down. After losing 4 straight, that can kind of kill a team.
And not even even in every game, right? Like you get down 35-0 at Tulane at half and you come back and only lose 38-20.
Lose
you
by
still
10.
Lost, but like that's a hell of an effort in the second.
Yeah, it was definitely a good battle.
I get it. Like you got to put a full football game together. Like you can't spot somebody 35, but still, like what a spot that they could have easily quit and that game could have ended 49-7 or something, right? But they
definitely,
like to what you're saying, not just in the midst of a 4-game losing streak, but even in a game when that's twice too this year. In the state game, they kind of did the same thing where they were down, what was it, 35-3 at half, and then come out in the second half and you match state scoring wise, and then Tulane, you kind of destroyed them in the second half, if you will, I guess. But
you mentioned the state game, and I'll say Tulane as well. Those are like probably the 2 games I don't think the Tigers probably could have won. From kickoff, I think state had them the entire time. There was never a situation where it was like, oh, Memphis may be able to pull this off. It never crossed my mind. Against Tulane, there was, you're down a bajillion to 0. Tulane kind of pulled off the gas. They just ran the ball, kind of really doing exactly what we do when we get a lead typically. But they were never really in any type of danger of losing that game. Tulane, that is. Spears was running the ball, Bill picking up 5 yards a carry. It wasn't like they were running the ball just to run the ball and run the clock. They were actually picking up yards and producing during that entire time. But every other game, completely winnable, right?
Oh,
yeah. And I think
I would
mostly agree with that.
I'd fight you right now that Tulane was winnable. I told you that this weekend. I don't think that Tulane is that good of a football team. They realistically could lose. They lost to Central Florida Saturday. They could lose their next 2.
Well,
I think we even being whatever. Yeah, I get it. I guess I still think we could have won that game.
I think they could have won the game starting fresh, right? Complete like tabula rasa.
Not even fresh. I think if we'd played a little faster. There was legitimately time where we were not snapping the ball as fast as possible, being down 21.
Yeah.
And if you do that, and still like, if you don't throw that pick and you score it right there at the end, we still had like a minute to get an onside kick, and then you just need a field goal to tie it, right? Like, it was definitely winnable. But
spotting on points.
I know, but that's also like, it's not like they were just, I don't know. You freaking fumble a punt and then you give up a 90-yard punt return. That's 2 special teams mistakes that spotted them 14 points. Like there's no telling what the defense could have settled down. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like Tulane was much more winnable than the state game was.
I'll give you that. All right. Anything? Oh, Chris Howard looked awesome, especially a week after UCF. where, I think that was
Gosh,
like
that
the only
UCF
two
game.
field goals he missed the entire season.
Yeah.
Bounced back, went 4 for 4.
Shout out to
Rosa.
the doink from
Off
49.
the crossbar.
I don't think
I mean,
either one of us are getting our field goal superlative for distance this year. We both said plus 50. And if he was 49.5 yards, he wasn't going in.
Look, the wind's got to be swirling right in the bowl. I think he can hit 50. I'm not crossing it out.
I don't know. Speaking of kicks, because we didn't get a UCF review, I just have to bring this up. That 65-yard kick that Malzahn attempted to land it at the 10-yard line. I mean, in that game, there were two absurd calls and plays. One being the 4th and 16, and the second being that 65-yard field goal.
Well, I would say 3 because I think UCF had a super long 4th down that Malzahn went for no odd reason.
Well, that's true.
I think there was logic behind that. This sounds ridiculous to say. I'm
If you're
supporting
about to say logic
Malzahn
behind the kick.
Oh, well, hear me out. I don't think that they were planning on kicking that ball.
If you're not,
I think they lined up hoping to get us to jump off sides, and then the snapper threw the ball back there, and the kicker's like, what am I supposed to do now? And so when he kicked it, I originally thought it was tipped. I went back and watched it when I got home, and my guy put like 5% power into it, and it was nowhere close to being in there.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that makes sense. Like, why would you try to kick that field goal?
But even if you're not planning to kick it, why are you sending the kicking? Like, just line up to try to draw us off and then take the penalty. Why are you sending a field goal unit out there? I don't know. It just didn't make any sense. Whatever. It doesn't matter. All right. What about defensive takeaways? The defense, to me, dude.
No complaints here.
Yeah. I mean, a heck of a performance. Obviously, put in a tough spot very early on and gave up the 3. But other than that, and the late touchdown that Tulsa got off of the turnover when we were trying to just close the game out, like, you held them to under 200 yards. I think 175 through the air, only 31 on the ground. The 2 quarterbacks, Brent obviously went out early, and then Braxton came in, negative 20 yards rushing on the night.
Yeah, what was up with that, Dave? Why was Davis Brin pulled? It was like 5 minutes into the second.
Oh, he's been. Is
it just because he threw the interception?
No, I think he took a. He's been injured. I think he took a hit, and they were just
they
were taking him out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Jalen said they were getting to him, and I think he must have taken one, and so they pulled him.
Well, Braylon has Braxton to back up. He has the ability to run the ball, and I think they actually planned pretty well for that because he was not able to run the ball. And it's not like he's like not like a John Rice Plumlee kind of runner. He is a very capable runner, just like Seth, and he got nowhere. They did a great job really shutting him down. Yeah,
he was 4 carries for minus 14 yards. But yeah, I mean, that was, Jalen said it coming in. They didn't know if Brum was going to play or not. So they spent some of the week preparing for Braxton, and it definitely showed. I mean, I feel like they have one of the leading receivers in the country, right? Stokes.
Yeah. Stokes.
Held him to 6 catches, 68 yards. He had a touchdown. But I think we're pretty effective in kind of shutting him down.
Obviously a top 5 receiver in the nation.
Yeah. Got the one interception, right, with Tyler Murray picking off. So
did Joel not have one? I thought Joel had. He dropped it. Joel Williams, I think, had an interception, dropped it.
Yeah. So 3 sacks, 5 tackles for a loss, 2 deflections, 10 QB hurries. I mean, we were all over the backfield.
That's Jalen Allen.
Yeah.
I think he had 2 sacks, 4 hurries.
2 sacks, 4 hurries, 2 TFLs, 3 solo tackles. Heck of a night out of old Jalen.
A freaking coming out game for Davion Ross, who was a guy at the start of the season I was really high on. I thought Davion was going to start, and it kind of took him a while to kind of get sprinkled in, but he had the big kick return, maybe not that big, just bigger than what we're used to. I think it was like almost 30 yards. Forced fumble. He had a couple tackles for loss. I mean, I think he had a really good game. He had a pass breakup.
Absolutely.
He and LD Pauk are 2 guys I really like in that secondary that we have someone to kind of look forward to. What some of the kind of senior leadership kind of guys get out of there.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Anything else from Thursday?
Uh, Zay Collins is a tackling machine. I mean, I think he's up to 85 tackles on the season. Joe Doyle
Hey,
was crushing punts left and
who'd you
right.
take as your leading tackler? Tyler.
I don't remember. Probably Tyler. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. You took Tyler. I
Yeah.
took Zay. It's gonna hurt me. I mean, I took Q. It's gonna hurt me that he sat out the game.
Yeah, he sat out for a little bit there. Going back to Joe Doyle, his big thing is just strong leg, right? The dude just drops bombs. I think he had 2 punts over 50 yards. He also dropped 4 within the 20-yard line, which is, not really something he does very consistently. It's only just banging them out of the end zone and stuff like that. So shout out to him for 4 within the 20. But I guess he did have 16 practices for the most part in terms of that dry spell on offense.
Yeah, 6 punts, 44.2 average. Or inside the 20, like you said, and then along at 57. So, yeah, I mean, I felt like you mentioned, Davion Ross's kick return. Eddie had a couple nice punt returns.
Yeah.
Along at 25. Chris Howard 4 for 4 on field goals, like you said, 2 for 2 extra point. I mean, I felt like of some of the special teams has cost us some games, and I felt like they played much better on Thursday against Tulsa.
Absolutely.
All right, Tej, senior day coming up Saturday at the Bowl, 1 p.m. from Florence, Alabama, the hometown of my in-laws. Beautiful little city out down there.
It's a little nice place.
The North Alabama Lions come to town. They are a whopping 1-9 on the year. They have fired their head coach, so they are currently with an interim coach, Ryan Heald, who, fun fact, was on Scott Frost's staff at Nebraska and UCF. They were actually played at Nebraska together. Ryan was a quarterback and wide receiver and a 2-time national champion in 93 and 96.
It's pretty swag.
For the Cornhuskers. I think I looked at this earlier, and in his time at Nebraska as a player, they were 47-3. Which is why. What has happened to Nebraska?
They stopped running the triple option.
They stopped running the triple option. I don't know if that's it. But 1-9. This is going to be you got to get up. You're going to get up early. Second half is going to be all backup guys getting minutes. I mean, I want to see some TC Gridiron Penny out there slinging that rock.
Yeah.
I mean, Glover, if you do a little read option with Glover should have 170 yards rushing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a bad football team. They're a division down. They're 1-9. Interim coach. I mean, this should just be absolutely a bloody massacre on the field.
I generally agree.
Bowl eligible for 9 straight years, Teach. Cheers to that. Lock it in.
Play in there. Okay.
I think we'll have to fact check this, but I have heard that would be the longest bowl streak for a G5 team program at 9 years, 9 straight. Which, look,
9 straight.
Super proud of that. That's great. That's a great stat. That's a great little string of history right there. 9 straight, but 6-6 the last 2 years.
9 straight takes us back to Fuente's second year.
Yeah, 2014.
So, yeah, I guess Cincinnati was pretty booty cheeks at that point. That's kind of when they turned it around, when they fired Butch to bring in.
Well, they were cheeks for a little bit there.
Yeah, definitely under Butch. They were not good at all. It was once they hired Fickle, they turned it around pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and obviously UCF had the 0-12 year.
Yeah.
I mean,
that should have been 2013, right?
Yeah. The only team that to me feels like would have something like that would be like Boise State.
Yeah.
Where they would have a similar length of a streak, but
Anyway, what are we talking about? UNA, it is what it is, right? They have some carryover guys from SEC schools that kind of dropped out. They have some talent there. It's not enough, respectively, it's not enough. I think the better question is what kind of Tigers team are we going to get? Even last week versus Tulsa, who has shown to battle, right? Last year played Ohio State pretty closely. This year they played Ole Miss. Was it Ole Miss?
Yeah, they lost. I think they lost 35-28 or something to Ole Miss. But I mean, that just looked like a team that's quit on Montgomery the other night.
Well, yeah, but I'm not even worried about them. I'm worried about how you looked against an inferior team.
Yeah.
And I know we had a lot of guys out who were sick. I don't remember the number. It's like
I
almost
think
30
said 20,
dudes that were out.
28 guys missed practice, the week of practice leading up to Thursday with, I guess, the flu was going around.
Yeah, you had no Davion Carter, so you're down a starter on the offensive line. Braxton Alford started for him, and there was some switching out kind of throughout the game, I believe. So,
I hadn't even mentioned it yet either. BT started and then was immediately pulled, and now we heard today out for the year.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. He only got, I think it was just that one carry.
He got one carry. I think it was one carry, 4 yards on that opening drive, and then I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's concussion related. He got hit, and obviously he had some issues last year with that. But
yeah,
I mean, hope he's okay. Hope it's not something that, if it is concussion, I fear that may be like a career-ending kind of thing for him.
From where, just to give you a perspective, from where Trey and I sit is in kind of like the north end zone ish. We're like right at like the 5 or 10 yard line. And that play took place on the opposite end of the field. But from what it looked like, the staff actually had Brandon's helmet. And not always is it indicative of a head injury, but it's typically a tail. Yeah, exactly. It's a telltale sign. It's a head injury. And like you've said, Brandon's piled that up. I think it's a foregone. It's not a foregone conclusion that he's done. Yeah, I'm not trying to end the dude's career by any means. He's obviously a really good talent. We saw that, last season, but
well, I mean, there was also a time last year where people were saying he was medically retiring, right? So it's like you take, and I'll be honest, I thought at one point against UCF last week, he took a shot. I mean, it ended up, I think he was getting poked in the eye and his helmet came off, but for a minute, I thought he took a headshot, and I was like, dang, he might be done. So I don't, maybe it was something lingering from that. He took one more and they said, hey, you're out.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'd expect heavy doses of Asa, a Ducker next game. I'd love to see personally Sutton sprinkled in some manner. I think you kind of have to get creative with Sutton. I don't think he's a guy that, it's a split end handoff and he's just running up the middle. It's just not really his game. I mean, he's a $180 maybe in weight. So
no, yeah, I mean, definitely, especially with BT being out the rest of the year, that's somebody that I would like to see as well getting, involved a little bit more. I mean, we've seen him at various points, saw him at the end of the Tulane game, saw him for that stretch in, what was it, the Temple game, I think, a month or so ago. But, yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, like you said, what Tiger team shows up on Saturday for senior day. Is it a team that comes out hot, gets a big lead, and then we get to see some of those younger guys, a Glover out there. Well, he's not younger, but a backup.
Yeah.
Maybe Tevin gets some run. But I fully expect it to be, I don't know what the line is, but
I don't know if there's a line because they're a lower division. You may be able to find it somewhere.
I think they would have one, but I mean, it needs to be like, you need to win by like 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, I expect the offense to rebound. I don't think you're going to get the 5 consecutive punts in a row.
Well, you better not against a 1-9 FCS school.
You exactly.
Better not punt the ball at all.
Yeah, but also, I would not be shocked if, depending how the score looks, they start pulling guys to kind of rest, maybe get some of the older senior guys in there. That maybe don't get the amount of snaps that they would typically would just because they're a senior kind of thing. And,
a little farewell gift.
Yeah, a little farewell. Like Ryan Glover. I'd love to see some more Ryan Glover personally. Love Seth, but rest your body.
It'd be wild. I don't know if you guys did this in high school, but on senior day, a lot of times the seniors who never got to start would start. You think we see some of that?
Maybe it's
Think we
not
see
something he's done
Ryan
before.
Glover start on Saturday.
I don't think it's anything they've done before, but I'm not going to cross it out by any means.
That'd be goofy. Let's not do that.
I'm trying to think of all the
Let's leave
seniors
that.
that we
Let's
have
leave
on
that
the
to high
team.
school.
All the seniors we have on the team, because, and this isn't like a for sure thing, because we saw Quindell participate in senior year last year and then followed by coming back.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Look at who's walking, but
yeah, like who are these guys? Like Sincere Evans is one that comes to mind. He's a redshirt senior. He typically has a fifth year. Are we going to get Sincere back next year? I mean, we could. And
yeah,
I think they probably likely will offer to bring him back. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't. Linebacker will be pretty thin next year, but I don't know.
and Young,
Just,
if he doesn't come back,
yeah,
they'll be
definitely
young too.
Yeah, you'll have Canton Arku will be a senior. Tyler's gone, but I imagine Andrew Jones would kind of fill in that spot. Yeah, Smoke Jones. Yeah, I don't know. I just something to pay attention to. It's something dumb that I'm looking at, but
yeah. So your fifth years that are definitely gone are Waldorlis, Ducksworth, Dale, Austin Myers, Owens, John Hassel. Shout out John Hassel.
Shout out John Hassel.
Oliver,
Hassel.
Gabe Rogers, Zay, obviously Tyler. And then guys that could come back. You got Michael Denson, Johnny Westbrook, Anthony Ballard, Asa Martin, fifth year. Jalen Allen could have a fifth year. Eddie Lewis could have a fifth year. Joe Doyle and Chris Howard could both have a fifth year. Wendell, but obviously he's probably definitely gone. I mean, he was almost gone last year. You mentioned Sincere. Ryan Glover could come back, I guess, as a fifth year. So definitely something to keep an eye on. There are a couple names in there that, I wouldn't hate to have back next year at all. Jalen Allen being one, Asa being another, Eddie.
Definitely.
So definitely something to watch out for. All right, superlatives. Give me first tutty on Saturday.
It's corn. It's a big hunk of knobs and it has the juice. At this point, I'm sticking with Priest corn.
Man, I don't know. Everybody else, I didn't. Them playing that song every time he catches the ball, dude. They played it the other night. He caught. I'm surprised they didn't play it on the fumble, just because he caught the ball. I mean, for real, dude had like a 2-yard reception the other day, and they played it. I'm like, can we save it for like a touchdown at least?
It has the juice, dude. What are you gonna do? It has the juice.
Hey, a catch for 2 yards ain't got a whole lot of juice in it.
As long as it's a first down, brother. I'm not.
You're going Priest corn. I'm gonna go.
Get weird.
I'm gonna say we hit Joe Skates on a deep ball early and get a tutty out of that. I'm saying like a first play of the game, 75-yarder.
I like it, but if that dude drops the ball again, he's getting a tweet from me,
bro.
I'm gonna have to tweet him.
We thought it could be him just like losing it, but that was on deep balls. He had one that was straight in the chest across the middle, and it couldn't have been more than like 10 yards down the field. There's no way in hell he lost that ball.
No, you know what it is? I think he needs contacts, and I'm not joking. He may wear contacts. You need a new strength or something. Something.
Then get rid of the contacts and give me full on Little Giants
rec specs, dude.
Yes, bro. Goggle up.
Freaking Rodrigo Blankenship style.
Yes. Exactly. Just like that.
Yeah. Wish I had some rec specs sitting around.
Full strength rec specs. And stick them on your hands too. We're going straight up all Little Giants. That he'd have caught the ball the other night. It hit him square in the chest. He had so much tar in his jersey it has stuck. All right, give me offensive player. This was tough because if the first team sits the first half, you could throw like a backup out there.
If you know me, this may be kind of funny. I'm gonna say Javion Ducker. I'm gonna say Jay Ducker is gonna get more bulk carries.
You think his
Man,
speed, he's got more FCS speed than he does FBS speed. Is that what you're telling me?
dude, don't get this guy on me again. Jay, I'm sorry.
You think he's more productive at that level? I see. I get it. That's fine. Jay, look, I'm sorry, dude. We know you're listening. TJ's.
He has game
If you want
speed.
to, hey,
We'll
if
go
you
with
want to
that.
foot race TJ in the parking lot after the game, just tweet at us. Let us know. We'll set it up.
There's about 100-pound difference there, so that should be entertaining.
Well, hey, Hunter, we'll give you a little bit of head start.
Yeah, I'm going Jay Ducker. I think he gets the bulk carries, let Asa kind of rest up, do his work, and Jay can just kind of be that workhorse.
I like it. I'm stealing your first Tutty pick. I'm going with the corn. It has the juice, even though I hate that song. But I feel like this is a game. He kind of had not a great game the other night. I think he only had like 2 catches. It felt like we weren't
20 yards,
really
maybe
trying to incorporate him a whole lot. Obviously he had the fumble. He had 2 catches for 25 yards. I feel like this is kind of a bounce back game for old Priest Corn, and
yeah,
I think it's a day he eats against the old Lions out of Florence. So I'm gonna go Caden.
perfect. I like it.
What about defensively?
I mean, at this point, you got a couple of guys to pick from.
Before you take it, I'm going
up.
Quindell
Son
on
of a-
senior day, last game in the bowl. Give me a pick 6, Q.
So here's the problem: is I'm thinking too much about this, and I know UNA fired the coach, so they're kind of basically running a whole new system at this point. So I'm trying to think how many tackles will Zay rack up before he gets pulled out to rest.
Mm-hmm. See, that's tough.
It is tough because Zay is just such an easy,
especially if they're not extending any drives at all, and they're just going 3 and out. That's not a whole lot of plays.
and not a whole lot of plays. You know, F it. I'm going Big Cam, wild card, Big Cam.
We need a game out of Big Cam. We need it.
The thing is, his work doesn't even show up on the stat line. And all they do is just takes on double teams nonstop. Is looking like the actual Hodor guy from Game of Thrones. Just being a monster in the middle.
TJ taking it back to 2014.
Freaking football Hagrid, just being a monster.
But also, didn't that actor die? R.I.P. Hagrid.
He did. R.I.P. That's actually what I was thinking of.
Moment of silence. Don't say anything. Shout out Hagrid.
Shout out Hagrid.
All right, give me your score prediction before we jump into some basketball.
I'm gonna say,
dude, I'll ask you this: did they score more points than Temple did?
Oh,
I'll tell you, that was another reason I was so frustrated the other night that we let them score. Was we were about. That would have been the first time since '94 we held 2 opponents to less than 7 points in the same season.
Yeah.
18 years ago.
I'll say yeah. I'll give them 7 just for funsies. You know, it could be.
Yeah, see, this it's a little different when you got maybe a second half of backups in there. I think they do squeeze out like 9.
9.
Yeah, I mean, it's FCS level. I feel like we block a PAT or something. They ricochet
9
one
points.
Off. Yeah.
Do I need to look up who UNA has played all year long? Like, are they scoring 30 points on people?
They have a couple times.
UVA Wise School for the Blind, Trey.
They have a decent football program.
Dude, get out of here. All right. First of all, hey, they scored 35 on Austin P. That doesn't mean anything to us, but you know. All right, dude. They lost 64-29 against UCA.
I'm just telling you.
I mean,
UCA put up a hell of a fight against Arkansas State last year, and then we put up a fight with Arkansas State. You don't think 9 points is,
bro?
It's literally 2 points more than you said.
Chattanooga scored 41 on them.
I'm not saying we're scoring 9. I think we're about to put up 56.
I know. All right,
I'm going 56-9. Give me your pick.
I'm gonna go 48-7 because I think Ryan just crushes the clock the entire. I think he's just like
I forgot about hashtag win with class.
Win with class, brother.
TJ.
They're gonna crush the clock, and it's just gonna be handoff. So
You're right, and it's an interim coach.
48-7 because Ryan's a nice guy.
42-10. Final answer. We're not even. He won't let him block a PAT. We're gonna take it easy on a late touchdown and give up. We're not even trying to block the PAT. 42-10.
Harold Nash is about to come away with like 3 interceptions or something.
I wouldn't hate it. So that's your defensive player of the game?
No, it's not. Defensive player of the game is going to be Cam still.
All right. That'll take us into B-ball. My guy, we both wore the kits tonight. I hate that we were on a hiatus. We didn't get to do a basketball preview. I was really wanting to do a basketball preview. We're already one game in. But we'll do we won't go through every game. Let's do a quick season, just overall record prediction. I think if they end up playing, I think you get 3 games in Orlando.
Yeah.
And with 18 conference games, we're looking at 31 regular season games. Obviously, they're already 1-0. So you already get 1 in the win column. But what are you feeling for an overall record? Give me record, what they finish in the conference, and then give me if they make the NCAA tournament, give me your seed prediction.
I think overall I said 24-7, and the 7 kind of sounds like a lot, but it's more of an indictment of if KD or DeAndre goes down, I don't have a lot of confidence in kind of the team going forward at that point, and you just never really know, especially in basketball.
I mean, I feel the same way. We are fully on board with hashtag free Mars, the free Mars movement. I think that impacts it too. But I'm with you. I mean, Coach Hardaway's already said that since he's been here, and I don't know how accurate this is, but since Kendrick's been here, he has quote unquote severely sprained his ankle 3 times. So if you're one to believe that history repeats itself, I mean, by tournament time, he's going to have 12 ankle sprains. So I don't know how many games that calculates to KD sitting out, but if that's the case, then I'm with you. I think if those guys are missing time, there could be a little bit of a lull there. But I was sitting somewhere where you were at. I think I initially had 23-8. I'm feeling like a 14-4 in conference. I think you split with Houston, and I feel like you split with Cincy. And then there's just 2 games where I'm like, if KD misses, you could lose at like a Temple or something. Villanova just lost at Temple. Something random where it's like you're the better team. You really probably shouldn't, but you just drop a game because some guys are missing or something just goofy. You just have an off night, right? So I'm kind of right there with you. I think they finished. I hate to say it because I really want to be regular season champ. I think they finished second, but I'll go out and say that they end up winning the AC tournament. I'm going to say I feel like they could get like a 6 or 7 seed. 7, playing that 7-10 game.
I forgot to answer that question. So I think second in conference, just to Houston, obviously. Probably.
I see.
Maybe 8 or a 9.
I just want. I hate that spot so much. I don't want to say it. Then you draw a 1 the next game. Like,
what was Houston, a 5 last year, and they were 4 losses, 5-loss team, and they were a 5 seed. I just think it's so hard for us, the second.
Yeah, I also
second
think
team out of the American to be anything better than 8 or a 9.
Yeah,
and I'm sure statistically that's probably wrong, but
yeah, the good part is that our out of conference sets us up with plenty of quad 1. Like if you can come out, I mean, it's right now not off to a good start. You were thinking Vandy would possibly be one because they were 1 last year, but they just lost at home to Southern Miss after they lost to us. So they still could. The SEC obviously helps out if they can win a couple games there. I think they're going to finish top 75. St. Louis will obviously probably be a quad one, and then you get Auburn, Alabama, A&M. Those are all quad one. If you can, what is that? Oh, Seton Hall's another one.
Seton Hall, yep.
So that's 6 right there. I mean, if you can go through those 6, 4 and 2. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty good resume you're building. And then you split with Houston, split with Cincy. If you end up winning the AAC conference, that's another potential probably win over Houston. I think they could get up there towards that 6, 7.
For me, man, honestly, it's that run of Auburn, Alabama, and A&M. I mean, it's
going to be a tough stretch for sure.
Yeah, it's three ranked
Especially
teams back to back like that. Yeah. And I think that comes right after the tournament.
Yeah, it's about 2 or so weeks afterwards. But yeah, I mean, especially with Auburn, Alabama both being away from FedEx Forum. Obviously, you get a little bit of a, Auburn will be in Atlanta, so it's not a true road game. I think there'll probably be some Tiger fans down there. Not a difficult trip to Atlanta. But then, you're at Alabama and Tuscaloosa 3 days later.
Shout out to all the Tiger fans in Vandy, by the way.
Oh yeah,
right.
Dude,
it was a huge turnout.
Yeah. We had buddies there that were saying that it was going to be a good turnout. And then obviously, I mean, you could hear it on the broadcast. So let's go Tigers chant right there at the end. I mean, there were some defense chants going on while we were on D, but it was all things considering, I think a good showing for sure. Speaking of that Vandy game, heck of a showing, I feel like, for game 1, right?
Yeah, great.
You essentially were dominated the whole game. I mean, you led wire to wire. It never really, at any point, I never once felt like we were going to lose. Even, midway through the second half when, I think they went on like a 9-0 run, 9-0, 12. I don't know. They hit like 3 or 4 threes back to back to back and cut it to 8. And we just came back and immediately pushed it back to like 16, which is, it felt similar to like that Murray State game at home last year where I think we were up like 15 at half or whatever. And then they just went lights out in the second half from 3. And it was like, we were trading 2s for 3s and we couldn't do anything about it. And they just came back. It felt similar to that, except for this time we just buckled down, got baskets when we need them. DeAndre hit a 3, timely baskets, got to the foul. Like, I don't know. This team just feels totally, I feel like there's identified roles. People know what their role is on the team. You got Malcolm diving after loose balls. I mean, I felt like he gave great effort the whole night. They just play hard and physical. I mean, we just looked, Penny talked about it last year. Like, this is an older league in the AAC, hit the transfer portal. You got a bunch of seniors. I mean, it looked like a senior laden team, a really experienced basketball team the other night. And it was a pleasant surprise, honestly. I did not know what this team was going to look like, but I mean, I said it the other night, and it could be a little bit premature, but I think that I love this team after one. I mean, we will see tomorrow night, but I think this comes out Wednesday. We will have seen last night, but at least from last week, like with the intensity they came out at energy, I'm all on board.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, I think the Tigers have looked great. They won the rebound battle. I think if they can consistently win that rebounding battle, despite how poorly they're shooting, they're going to continue to give themselves a chance. And I think that's the biggest thing. I don't remember the turnover number, but I think it was 13.
I mean, and
I'll take 13 any day of the week, considering we saw games at 18 to 20 something last week.
23, and against nobody you should be turning the ball over 20 plus times. 13
turnovers. You keep that up.
I'll take it. Early in the year on the road. Yeah.
DeAndre with only 3 fouls. Like, keep that guy on the court.
None in the first
second
half.
He is on the court. Yeah, dude. Anytime he's on the court, you are that much. You have that much higher of a chance of winning that game. So if you can keep him to 3 points, and I know Kenny had that interview with him. If you haven't seen it, definitely go watch it. It's a good interview with DeAndre and just kind of getting his side of everything. It's definitely a good recommend. It's not even very long either. It's like 20 minutes. So definitely recommend you watch that. The only thing, like if we're going to nitpick, I don't love Katie Alo minutes together. And that's mostly because you're going to get a situation.
I'm afraid you're stuck with that unless we get a hashtag pre-Mars soon.
I don't like the situations where we're getting lineups without a true point guard, and Penny told us like, hey, Johnny, sorry, no minutes for you, man. And I don't even know if you want to consider Jonathan Lawson a point guard, but it was just more so I don't like having the only two real point guards you have on the team playing together when there are other options out there. But
not even that, like towards the end of the game, we didn't have either one of them, and we couldn't get the ball in bounds. Like,
I absolutely hate those lineups.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, but I do think until DeMaria's cleared, like that's what we're rolling with. I mean, he said it the other day, he's rolling out the same 5 to start against St. Louis. So I will say it was nice to see, and you mentioned it, Penny, talking about not giving sympathy minutes, I think is what he called it. But
yeah,
it's really good to see game 1. I mean, essentially we played 8 rotation guys. I mean, KO being the 4th, he got 6 minutes. And I do want to see him incorporate a little more because I do think he can be that spark plug off the bench. He can come in, get a couple blocks in a row. You saw him with a putback dunk early, right? That kind of energized the team. So I would like to see him get a little bit more run, but I mean, essentially it was DeAndre, Kendrick, and Lomax out there. Your 3 seniors, the 3, leaders on the team, all getting almost 35 minutes the other night. And I expect that to be the way that it is the rest of the year. Granted, hopefully they stay healthy and, like you already mentioned, DeAndre can stay out of foul trouble. But if those 3 are playing 35 minutes a night, I feel pretty damn good every night we're stepping on the floor.
So do you have any concern about the 3-point shooting? Because even KD himself was kind of off. The number's low. It's 1 game in. So like, what are we talking about? But
I mean, it's not just 1 game though, right? We saw it in the exhibitions too. They were it's gotten progressively better and better. Yeah. I mean, it's not, he, like, KD can get to the basket whenever he wants. I think him and DeAndre are a dynamic 1-2 pick and roll. Like, I think this team finds other ways to score that it's not terribly concerning to me right now. I mean, it was bad. Yeah. It was they were 5-19, 26% the other night. But if they're able to get to the foul line and keep hitting free throws like they did the other night, 17-19, 90% from the line, like, I think they're going to find other ways to kind of make up for a potential lack of shooting. But again, I think that also we've kind of heard it is like, if Franklin's declared eligible, I think that helps a little bit. Supposedly he can shoot it from outside. And I think obviously Keontae's probably capable. He just had an off night. McCadden made 1. Alex made 1 or 2. They just happened to be after a foul was called or something. So they obviously didn't count. But like, I do think he's going to have to at times, Lomax, that is, make shots when he's left open, right? Like,
sure.
We saw it the other night, like KD's going to get double teamed. And so, if Alex is on the floor with him at the same time, he's going to have to be somewhat effective offensively. And I think he played fine that 10-10 the other night. I mean, that's exactly what, I'm not saying he needs to get 10 boards every night, but if he puts up 10 points a night, then
that's great.
I think that's exactly what he needs to do. So that's to say it is definitely a concern, but at this point, I'm not like, hey, this team can't do what we think that they should be able to do because of their 3-point shooting, at least at this point.
Yeah. I mean, if we're 10 games in and they're still sub 20, I don't even know. I think it's like sub 27% from 3. I'm going to be like, damn, we could have probably you really used that Emmanuel Acott commitment there.
We could have used Lester Stan, man. You can imagine how many threes he'd be knocking down this year.
I'm not going to stop a dude from getting his
so
money.
So many air guitars.
Trying to think anybody else.
Yeah, but with his money with Bluff City NIL, he could have been getting paid, baby.
It's making it rain, by the way. You can't tell what that is. It's making it rain.
I had no idea what the hell that was. That's much better.
This is like the 30-year-old man
just
dance. That's what we do.
Cut it off after the first part. Don't do the second part ever again.
Kenny taught me that move, so I thought it was being cool.
That's great. All right, really quickly, we've had some big time commitments the last 10 days or so on the basketball for next year. Let me ask you this. Are you concerned at all with taking that many freshmen? I think right now you're sitting at 6. Is it 6 freshman commits? 7?
At least 6.
We're at 6. With
and then 2
with the possibility of one more at least, right? More. We think in one more. So you're talking about ending up with 7 freshmen. Which is, almost the exact opposite of what Coach said he was going to do moving forward.
Yeah, it's not that the freshmen that I'm worried about. It's a lot of the same type of guys, like so combo guards or just versatile wings. Yeah, like
a lot of athletic slashing scoring type. I see.
Yeah, like Mikey Williams and Tyler Johnson. Like, I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong; those 2 very talented people. But
it makes you say, like, are we going to be running in the same? Like we just talked about it. Right now, you had an 8-man rotation the other night. You've got dudes that understand their role. Are you putting yourself back out there where you've got 9, 10, 11 dudes that are all expecting 25?
I think he's learned that lesson, but
yeah, I mean, you hope, right? And you hope that these guys coming in aren't all being told, like, sure, hey, you can expect this, right? Like, hey, we're taking all of you, but every one of you is coming in. You got to earn what you're going to get. You know Definitely. What I mean? Like, and we're defining roles. You're going to accept your role. If you're not, then, this ain't where you need to be.
Yeah, I mean, Mikey Williams, Tyler Johnson,
JJ,
Carl Sharonfont. I mean, those are 3 dudes, or Ryan Forrest, not Sharonfont. Those are 3 dudes that are just kind of combo scoring guard kind of situation. Sharonfont, more of a wing. He's a little bit bigger, but I think he's 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
It's
not like he's just terribly bigger.
Well, I know, but he has the versatility to be able to guard arguably 2 through 4 in college. So like he kind of comes with a different skill set, than Mikey or Tyler. I guess even their skill sets are a little bit different, but it's still like they both need the ball in their hands. So how you plan on using those guys, I have no clue. I mean, this is all up to Coach Hardaway and kind of how he wants to put things together. But JJ is kind of a tweener in between 3 or 4. I guess you just call everybody a wing these days. There's Tubik.
Positionless basketball, right? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's all kind of the same. Exactly. There's the talk of that last guy. I don't know if I'm considered a hooper. I mean, I look like a ball. That's about it. I don't know if I'm a baller. I look like a ball.
Is not a hooper. He is when we play pickup, TJ is all-time screener for both teams on the court. He sets hella screens for everybody.
Hit me up, brother.
Yeah.
I'm calling for it all day.
All right. You were mentioning that one more guy. What are you talking about?
Well, I just,
who are you referencing? There's a couple that it could be.
Well, I think there's one obvious one, right? I mean, he has. I'm trying to think how to word this because I don't want it to come off as like, hey, we're reporting this. I'm more so saying like, where are we at? Originally I didn't think it was one that was going to happen because it made too much sense. So I kind of convinced myself that it wasn't happening, and that's Ashton Hardaway.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I will say that I am surprised that it hasn't happened yet, but I would also be very surprised if it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
but we'll see. But again, that puts you at 7. I think you have the potential of 5 guys from the current team returning, maybe, if you count. We'll say the Lawsons. Malco has a COVID year. KO's weird because I don't know what he technically is. He was listed as a redshirt sophomore last year for UTEP.
Now-
He's listed as a redshirt senior for us.
Redshirt senior now.
In the last 6 months, KO has somehow lost a year of eligibility. I don't know what's going
He's
on.
slinging classes, man. I think Keontae can come back.
Keontae's a 5th year, or he's a redshirt, so I think he could
No,
technically.
he's a senior, yeah.
Yeah. I think you're definitely still going to have to hit the portal. I think you're going to have to hit the portal for a big guy, probably.
Big man, definitely for a big man.
Get you a senior big man that'll come in. I mean, I really feel like that's the piece that you're kind of missing right now. You got the guards, you got the wings. You just need a good, solid rim protector, big dude. You can go get you a senior big man in the portal, and I think you're setting up pretty nicely for next year.
Definitely.
All right, Tej, let's jump into this Memphis Sands. I'm gonna have to turn off my blurring background because it kept messing the can up when I was trying to show it. I've never seen an aquifer.
It's not gonna work.
A natural aquifer in person, but I feel like that's what it would look like.
I guess. Right? I mean, we're talking pretty far down under the ground.
The geology on this can is, if you're a geologist out there, let us know if this is to scale and accurate.
It's got to be accurate, dude.
This is one of my favorite beers, by the way.
Oh, definitely.
Really love Memphis Sands.
It's just easy to drink. I think that's kind of the biggest thing on it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the crushability on this is very high. It is
very high. Definitely about an 8.5 on the crushability scale.
Overall rating from a beer perspective, I mean, is one of my favorites. I'm going pretty high. I'm going to say this is like a 8.6 for me.
Okay. That's pretty close to me. I was going to say 8.4. I really like this beer, but I don't want to sound like a copycat. Can't have that. I do really like it though.
This is slightly embarrassing because I've had this beer numerous times and I don't look at the details. I notice cans and when they're cool, but I don't look at the details. And this is the first time that I'm noticing all the little details.
All the little details, man.
It's like a bunch of fossils and stuff, amoebas and weird. There's bones and other crazy things in there. That kind of adds to the can for me as well. I look at the details. Somebody drew all that. A lot of detail in there.
I'm over here Googling what Flower Island is. Are you just making stuff up? Is there?
I mean, I think this is accurate. I think they did their research.
Who am I to say no?
Look at how many different levels there are to the Memphis Aquifer. Did they get that right? Like the different filtration levels?
I'm going to be real honest. I took geology at the U of M.
I did too.
And I'm not sure I paid attention. I passed, but I don't know if I could tell you anything I took away from that class. So sorry to my teacher there.
Shout out to Memphis Water, by the way. We literally have incredible water. We haven't recorded since I went to Disney World, and this made me think of it talking about Memphis Water. We were in the parks one day, and I said, hey, I'm going to go fill up my water because I got sick and tired of paying $12 for a bottle of Dasani water. So I tried to go to the water fountain and fill up my bottle of water. It literally it tasted like TJ had farted into the filtration system. I'm just telling. I mean, it was the worst water that I've ever experienced in my life. I would have happily drank the Liberty Bowl water for the rest of my life and not ever tasted Disney World water ever again. So shout out to Memphis. We have incredible water.
I will say, even going to like St. Louis, the water is much harder. So like when you take a shower, it doesn't feel like that you can like ever get the water off you when you. I don't know. I guess if you've experienced it, you know what I'm talking about. And Trey, to answer your question, this is accurate. I have found the Memphis Aquifer, and I mean it says Memphis Sand, Flower Island, Fort Pillow Sand.
See, I'm telling you, I know those wiseacres.
We're talking.
They're in tune. They know what they're doing.
We have gone completely off the rail at this point, but other Cretaceous units, how far down do you think you are at that point? How many feet below sea level?
So you're talking about this very bottom row of
Yeah, the
filtration
other
water?
Cretaceous units. Please stop making me say
Gosh.
it because I'm sure I'm butchering it.
Are we talking like feet?
Yeah, how many feet below sea level?
TJ, I don't even know what would be a good guess. I'm gonna say 10,000 feet.
Dude, did you Google it?
No, is that right?
Yeah, you know we're close. No, absolutely not. It's 3,000.
Damn, I was gonna originally say 5. God, you got me excited. I thought I got it.
Nerd.
All right,
3,000
can wise,
feet, man.
this is not the best can I've ever seen. I like it. I'll say like 6.9.
Nice. Look, I like the can. All the little details, the fact that it's true. I do wish on the side over here, maybe it had like the 1,000 feet below sea level, like the different levels and stuff. Like
Yeah.
Fort Pillow Sand is 1,000. I don't know, just the nerd in me.
I see what you're saying.
But-
yeah, like the scale over there that says how deep we are. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the can though, and maybe it's just because it's something different and it's got a cool font on it. I'm gonna say like a 7.4.
Dang. Nice.
I like it. It's the visual dissonance edition. I don't know if you can see that because my light's bright, but whatever that means,
too.
you can scan the code, dude.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but we'll scan that after. Well, all right, Tej. It's damn good to be back with you.
Absolutely, dude.
For Tej, this is Trey. This has been Tigers Untapped. Come with the cold beer, stay for the hot takes. Peace.
If you enjoyed this episode of Tigers Untapped, please leave a like and a comment wherever you download your podcasts. Head over to bluffcitynil.com for comprehensive coverage of Memphis Tiger athletics. We will see you back here next week.